Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome. How are y'all doing? How's everybody doing? I hope you're navigating this time with as much smooth energy as you can. And, there's a lot going on in the sky. I'm sure you all are feeling this. Today, Neptune definitely moved into Aries. Neptune, whew, it can be kind of it can be kind of intense, right? Like it can be Neptune has a funky energy, I would say, that sometimes it feels a little bit more like sort of visionary, and then sometimes I notice that it can also bring things like depression. um it can kind of
The
leave you with a
literal
feeling
wet
of,
blanket.
yeah, it's kind of that wet blanket type of feel. And so if you're feeling any of this, and it might depend on what you have at 0 degrees Aries, if anything. Not everybody or if you have anything at like 0 degrees Libra, anything like that, those kinds of things, you're gonna feel this. You're probably gonna feel this. Yeah. So, and then plus, there's other stuff going on, this week, and I think there's a lot going on everywhere. I'm not sure why our up and down looks that way right now. I wish it didn't. Oh man, and I just keep making it worse. Um, yeah, there we go. Good job, Right Hawk. You fixed it. Okay. I have no idea how I ended up like that. Okay. Anyway. um I just wanted to take a look. Good evening, Alyssa. It's great to have you. I'm glad you're here. And we'd like it if you subscribe and if you share and things like that. We appreciate that if you share our broadcast here. And hey, Carolyn, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. Um, and uh, and hello to Tabitha and Dylan. How you guys doing? How you guys navigating this, huh? Yeah. It's a lot of energy right now. So, it looks like some people are looking for a little insight. So, we're going to be doing some free astrology charts. Um, and hey, Bright Hawk, do you want to try with um, Rect? You don't have to. I mean, that's a heck of a name. I
Uh,
don't know
I,
why you have that
I
name.
I was thinking Carolyn actually,
All right, why don't you do
or
Carolyn? The
Carolyn
only problem
says
with
there's
Carolyn
Zoe,
is, do you
but I
have?
don't have a location.
Yeah, we don't have a time or a location, huh? So, if you'd like a free reading, that could be fine.
Oh,
Also,
Carolyn says their name is Zoe. They're on their mom's account, and Rect says their name is Ashley. Okay, so let's just talk a couple little basics, and we'll start from here. In order for us to do your astrology chart, we need three things. We need to know, of course, the time and, of course, the date. That's an easy one. But the time is really important, and it adds a lot of value and specificity and precision to the astrology chart if you know what your birth time is. And of course, we need to know the location. The location is very, very important. All three of those pieces of information, vital. So if you can give us all three pieces of information, we can put your chart together. And then, since this is a free reading and we only have a limited amount of time and we always want to try to address as many questions as possible, try to ask one specific question. Is it in the relationship sector? Is it in the career sector? What is the one question you would ask? And that sort of helps us understand what to talk about. Or you could just leave it up to us and we'll look at it and we'll just say a few things, because it's definitely, when you look at a chart, definitely things jump out at us for sure. And if you want to just leave it up to us, then I guess we can do that too. But that's the basics. That's what we need. And we'd love to answer any questions you might be having, because of course there's a ton of energy. It was in Capricorn, now it's all in Aquarius. So Aquarians, you're feeling it. And then some of the really big outer planets are starting to move into new signs. So everyone's going to be feeling it in those signs. We could talk about that specifically in a minute. All right, so now we're starting to get some specifics.
Let me say this. If you don't know your time, I can usually at least tell you a couple of things about yourself. It's more accurate when I have the time. So I do like to say that, and I do like to say that, it's any astrology reading is more accurate when you have your whole chart. But no time, uh it, having at least your birthday and year and place is better than nothing. And other than just saying, oh, my horoscope is Leo or something like that, that's very general. So we kind of go to a general overall feeling, which is, on our YouTube, everybody can go watch that for free. Then there are horoscopes based on your sun or rising sign, or maybe even your moon emotionally. And then if you come to this and you bring your birthday, we can take a closer look. And sometimes, if people know their astrology chart, they can say, I'm this or that. Sort of like Lissy just did. She said, I'd love to have your insight on my chart, especially how my natal Aquarian Mercury series descendant and Leo rising will be affected this week. Whew, yeah, you best be aware of that, Lissy, on Sunday. I'll take a look at that in a minute. But first, before you is Ashley. So Ashley, um, I would like to leave it to you. Actually, my dad taught me about spirituality and believe in me. Do the stars say I'm gifted? Of course they are. Of course, everyone is gifted. Just sorry, Ashley. Um, it's a Everyone is gifted. Everyone on planet Earth has a gift. Period. And so anyone that says that they're special or whatever is probably just a narcissist or something. We're all special. We all have something special about us. That's what an astrology chart is. So let's take a look and see what that might be for you, though. You're a Gemini sun. Oh, so you're very spiritual. And you'll find healing through spirituality for sure. Higher thinking, meditation, any kind of spiritual path you might come into contact with. You might have a hard time getting in touch with your emotions, actually. Sometimes your emotions might just be a little bit harder, especially about like community and things like that. Um, Especially like trying to get your emotions grounded. It might, like, you might have to like go sit and be quiet or something. With a moon in the 12th house, that can lead you to um, having a harder time getting in touch with your emotions, yes, but also it can also lead you to incredible intuition. So your intuition actually probably comes from your moon more than your Neptune. So this will mean that you'll just randomly have downloads. You'll just randomly know stuff and you'll be like, how do I know that? And then when you're right, you'll probably be even more surprised. Um, you'll be particularly gifted maybe in animals. Like, so you'll have a good idea of animals, like spiritual connections to animals. Um, and that's kind of a powerful powerhouse for you. So I don't know if you have any kids. Um, and so that's, you know, I don't know if you have a dog or cat or any kind of animals really. You have the ability, you'll just have like an intuitive sense about them. And you'll generally have an intuitive sense about what people might need, or what you could do for people, or how you could help somebody. And generally, you'll be right. Um, yeah. Great. So she says, I agree. I'm very intuitive. Animals and plants. Yeah, you have a Virgo moon, so that's where it's coming from. It's also, but it happens to be in the 12th house. See, you have two dogs, so you're probably really good at knowing what those dogs need. Um, you'll be really good at helping the dogs and taking them out or whatever it is that they need to do. Sometimes you might have kind of two personalities or whatever because you're a Gemini, but for the most part, you'll be pretty good. And when you're good about it, that's when you'll feel good about yourself. And you'll have a lot of healing in the spiritual world. So I would highly suggest that you study the spirituality and really get in touch with it, especially during this Neptune in Aries, because it's going to go right over your Vesta. So it's a really good time to study spirituality, to study anything that you're interested in. As a Libra, this would be a really great time for you. I will say that Neptune will be opposite your rising, so that could make things a little bit difficult sometimes. You could be like visionary about who you attract, but you could also be kind of like delusional about it. So it could kind of come and go and bounce back and forth about friends, and then, oh, I want to be independent. Oh, I don't want them, and that kind of thing. Go ahead, Brayton.
So I just wanted to say, I said sometimes things jump out at us at the chart. One of the things that jump out is that Venus square the nodes. So when you have Venus square the north node and the south node, you've heard us talk about the north node is destiny and our future, and south node is past relationships. When Venus is involved, it's asking you to look for balance in relationships, that you don't give too much, that you don't sacrifice yourself to the point of you forget who you are and what your values are. So asking for equilibrium in relationships when you see that kind of thing in the chart. So I just wanted to jump in on what you were saying. And so hopefully that's helpful. And we probably should okay, looks like we've covered Ashley. So I wanted to, is it Lizzie? Lice?
Yeah, I think it's Lizzie Lyrical.
Lizzie? Okay, I was going to put their data in. February 24th, 1988. 344 Louisville. Okay.
Lucy, the first thing I would say is that you are Pisces, so you probably had it pretty close. You for a second, Brighthawk, while you take a look at her chart. She's a Pisces, so Pisces has had the North Node in the Pisces for last year and a half, I think it is, and so that's probably add some intensity, and so it's it what I want to say is no matter what's happened this year, particularly around your shadow, other people's money, school, higher learning, legal matters, any of that stuff it's kind of meant to happen. It's supposed to kind of teach you a little bit of a lesson. You have a little bit more to go. This will be the last year of it. But you still have some lessons to learn about staying dedicated. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but that's definitely, and then you also have a stellium in Aquarius. So I bet you're having a pretty intense moment right now, Lissy. Um, I'm just saying, like, yeah. So I think she asked about that. How about my natal Aquarium Mercury series descendant? You also have the part of fortune. I don't know why she's saying series. I don't series. Oh, Ceres is in Aries and it's at 22 degrees. So you probably won't notice that until the Aries thing until Saturn or whatever catches up to it. Um, I don't know why you're saying series. The descendant is there, and of course a Leo rising. So you're going to have this full moon. I think it's at about 12 or 13 degrees. Um, so there could be something um, that you feel like you deserve or something that should be coming to you that may not exactly happen, particularly on Sunday. So, because this full moon is going to be at about 13 or so degrees. So it's going to be actually opposite your Neptune and opposite your part of fortune in relationships. So I don't know, like if you're in some sort of, it doesn't have to be love relationships, it could be any kind of relationships, right? And so it could be like business relationships, work relationships, friends. Let me just see, where's Uranus? Oh, okay, it's down there in the fifth. Oh, so is it romantic? It's probably romantic relationships, huh? Unless you have kids or something. But I'm just gonna say that there could be like a feeling of like not being seen or maybe getting lost in the shuffle because there's so much going on, maybe not speaking up or something like that. There could be this moment of that on Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because the full moon is actually Sunday after Sunday evening. I think it was around 5 or so. We did forecast for it, but you should know that you have Mercury, Neptune, part of fortune, and Venus. I'm going to double check and make sure I put your date in there correctly. February. Oh, no, I did not. Pretty sure you weren't born in 2988.
I was wondering because I put the chart in too, and I was like, not seeing that.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, Hollis reconfigures. I will speak what I'm seeing.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
my. So funny. Okay, Lissy. Okay, we definitely have Gemini moon. And so your Gemini is in conjunct Neptune at 9 degrees. Neptune, you have a stellium in Capricorn. Wow. Uranus and Saturn at 0, Mars at 1, Capricorn. And that's a lot of energy at a world point. Remember, we've been talking about the world point. The world point is the cardinal signs. So this is cardinal Capricorn, I'm sorry. And so Saturn and Uranus, I'm like, wow, that's like makes me think, did your dad surprise you a lot? So it's in the fifth house. Hollis, go ahead and take yourself.
So yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I see what you're seeing, and it's actually going to be in a square to Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Let's see. I want to ask you: do you have any lovers or men that you're dating, or maybe a son, a child that is more sacred masculine that um, is protesting right now, or part of the protests, or has been part of the protests? Are you part of the protests? Because this is on the world point, and or part of the military or anything like that. Um, uh, so apparently, Lissy, I was foreseeing that you're going to be born again in 2988. Just note that down, okay? I'm kidding with you, okay? But it could be true. But the fact is that your Uranus and your Saturn are at 0 degrees Capricorn, and that's a world point along with Neptune, who just moved into Aries today on the world point, and Saturn is going to be there in just a couple weeks. So the reason I'm asking, and it would seem to me, if this time is accurate, that uh okay, your minor kiddos are not publicly protesting, but supporting all the protesting happening. Um, let's see. I want to say that there's some world points here. I don't know exactly what it will be, but what I will say is that Aries rules your ninth house of legal matters, um and your fifth house of children, so it makes me think about your children. It makes me think about the protests, because that's a big part of the world point right now, but maybe there's something else going on. Maybe your kids are in some sort of competition, or any kind of thing with the system, or any kind of reason they might be recognized on a world stage. If that hasn't happened yet, it will happen. It will be happening between now and, I think it's late February. It just started today, so I don't know if there's any kind of, like, contests or anything that your kid, you said they're minors, so that makes me think, like, are they in any kind of competition? Are they in a sport? Are any of them, yeah, they're activists, that could be absolutely part of it. But it's in the ninth house, so it also has to do with school or higher learning or possibly legal matters, and it would have to do with children, creative endeavors, fun. um, and I'm just going to say that you could very quickly end up on the world stage in the next month ish. Very quickly. Just out of nowhere. Um, a world, especially because you got the world point in Capricorn, and then you got the world point in Aries. And both of them, it's actually going to be, but it's going to be in a square, which makes me think it's going to be hard to resolve. It could be a challenge. It may not be great, but it won't be it won't be impossible. It's not an opposition. Okay. It could be. They could be recognized or seen. Um, how about at school? Are they doing anything? Because the ninth house usually indicates school. Or it could have something to do with the current protests. They could get involved in something in the next month. I'm just letting you know, you have Saturn and Uranus at the world point, and Neptune just stepped onto the world point, and that's what we're seeing in the world today. Which is where spiritual warriors are coming through, right? And then Saturn's going to join it, and hopefully we won't start a world war, but like, there could be spiritual warriors and a fight with, the government. The Saturn represents the government, the system. That's why I was asking you about school and things like that. um so
And I
uh
just have to say, with the Uranus involved, it's a surprise a minute. So that's why I'm like, do your kids surprise you? Does the father surprise? You have Mars involved, so there's some really big energy there. And the world point, your stellium on the world point, and the world point we're all experiencing in Aries. Wow, it. Yeah. So I'm not sure what your current experience is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out of the blue, because Uranus is involved, and Uranus is a surprise minute. You never know what's going to happen. So that's the part that's hard to explain or predict for me.
the fact that it's Capricorn makes me think it's educational, or so, you know uh and she is always surprising me with all the kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, let's see, it could be. I don't know, I'd have to look at her chart specifically. Whatever kid it is, it's probably in their chart too. But as far as you go, other than that, You have, of course, Mercury in Ceres in Aquarius, and currently we're having a stellium visit there. You also are having a nodal return, which is probably more impactful than anything for the last 2 years. And that's probably been pretty intense, Lissy. So that's going to go on for another year now. The final eclipse in the fall of 26 will kind of be the end of that. But just so you know, you are having what we call a nodal return. You can look it up. Your north node is in Pisces, and currently the north node is in Pisces. So you're definitely going to feel that. The full moon's going to be in your identity, and it's going to be versus relationships. So that's the seventh house. So that can be any kind of relationships. So that would be, friendship. It could be your kids, could be your own identity. Maybe your kid, maybe your Aquarius kid, maybe your Aquarius kid does some stuff that gets her on a world stage. Like like Greta Thunberg did. Greta did some. She just kind of did that stuff. Her mom and dad were not. They did not. I mean, they encouraged her to stand up for what she thought and stuff, but she just kind of one day went to school and protested. So and an Aquarius child could absolutely do that. So especially Capricorn and Aquarius like that. Whew, yeah. But yeah, so I'm just saying that you're yeah, I think it might be hard to handle, but I want you to see it this way, is that there's an answer to the problem. So if a problem comes up with it, there's an answer to that problem. It just means you have to look for the answer. And sometimes I think knowing that, like, there's two different kinds of like difficult transits that can happen. One's a square and one's an opposition. This will be a square. And with a square, that means there is an answer to this problem. It will make you more resilient. And then if it's an opposition, that means you have to find a balance between the two. This is not that. This is a square. So there is an answer to the problem to make it good. So you can transform it. It will just take a little bit of effort. Okay. And so and it could mean just the way you're thinking about it. It could be higher thinking. It could mean accepting, but it could definitely be on the world stage. So that's why I'm wondering if it's like the protests and stuff, because that stuff's getting a lot of attention right now. So um, yeah, exactly, exactly. Knowing ahead of time that there's an answer ahead, it allows me to keep my eyes open as it happens. Exactly, Lissy. When anytime I know a square is happening, I'll be like, is it a square? And then as soon as it comes up, I'll be like, there's an answer to this problem. And I know that there's an answer. And so then I just kind of let it go from there. So, Bright Hawk, did you want to add anything while I take a look at Cheryl's? I'll take a look at Cheryl's chart. I have her chart.
No, I thought what you added was good. And I agree with you. There's that stellium and the world point. It just makes me really curious. Like, how is this going to manifest? Because there's a lot of energy in your chart with that stellium, and it's surprising. With the Gemini moon, how do I say this? Gemini moon, I hope that you are so okay, the moon sign, I want to try to find a way to say this. The moon sign is, of course, our internal, what's going on in our deeper emotional waters, if you will, right? And so Gemini is, of course, the twins. So the twins is exactly what it sounds like. Two different ways of looking at it, two different ways of explaining things. So there's a tendency with Gemini of having two different ways of saying something. And it's not that they're not saying the truth. They just have a way of like things they're not saying. So things that they might omit, and it can get themselves in trouble. And sometimes they get caught and sometimes they don't. But there's a be honest with yourself factor in Gemini. The beautiful thing about Gemini is it really is an air sign. It's about thinking, it's about networking. They're fantastic diplomats, they're fantastic party hosts. They're really great at, taking care of the room, if you will. They know how to read the room very well and how to improve it. So that's the qualities of Gemini. Is there's a both and. There's two different ways the twins bring. So hopefully that's helpful.
Okay, so hey Chelsea, I just want to let you know we see you. Thanks for coming in. We're just slowly working through the people. Um and the full moon is in Leo, Cheryl. So taking a look at your chart, there's a couple things. So the Leo full moon is going to be happening on your Mars in the third house. So this usually has to do with like community, neighbors. So somebody might kind of piss you off a little bit on Sunday night. I just want to say, you know what? I'd highly recommend that you just keep it to yourself because it'll blow over pretty quickly and it's probably overly dramatic. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe if you can keep to yourself or don't say anything when you find yourself a little triggered. Um, they just might say something that kind of ticks you off a little bit. You have Mars in Leo. So Mars and Leo can sometimes be it's in the third house, so that's in community. So sometimes you might just be a little bit compulsive and take action without thinking, or some Mars tends to do that, but it can also speak to your temper. So just, try not to overreact and recognize that there's something deeper going on here. The other thing is you're you are your Saturn returns is very intense right now. I'm sure of it. And with Neptune direct in Aries, it's going to approach your Lilith. Um, this year is going to be about you learning the power of a woman, the power, your strength, and your power, and taking some strategies on how to heal and take care of yourself. And I think that's really important for you to recognize that that's what's coming up this year for you, and to continue to pay attention to that, um, and what you have to let go of. You got a lot going down in Virgo, down in the fourth house, which of course is your parents, your family of origin, your children. Sorry, not your children, your childhood. So those kinds of things. If you find yourself letting go of that kind of thing, it's speaking to you right now in that area. So it's a good time to let go of those old things. So, yeah, so I feel like that the full moon probably just going to be a little agitated at something. It'll probably pass really quickly, Cheryl. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. So you should be okay. Um, Chelsea said you were right about this past weekend being challenging. My husband broke his leg on Friday while responding to a fire call. Ouch. Oh no, Chelsea. I'm so sorry. Oh man. Even when you know it's gonna happen, it's still kind of like, oh man. But at least you were like, this is meant to be. I knew this was gonna happen. You've got Neptune approaching your north node too, Chelsea. So you should know that. Um, I don't know where Bright Hawk disappeared to. Um, but you have the north node in Aries at 1 degree. So Neptune is approaching it. Neptune just stepped into Aries today, and will continue to be there for the welcome back, Bright Hawk. Um, So you might just find that there's some very destined things coming up, particularly around your friends or the people that influence you and things of that nature. So Chelsea, I just want to give you a heads up about that because you have the North Node in Aries and Neptune's on it right now. It's actually at 1 degree. So I'm pretty sure this stuff happening on the world stage is going to influence you somehow. I forget what you do for a living, but yeah, it could create some changes in your life, especially when Saturn joins it in February and as we continue to go on. Um, you could find yourself experiencing a lot of changes, particularly when Uranus. When does Uranus go direct, Bright Hawk?
Uranus goes direct on February 3rd, next week.
Yeah, and then when does
We
it
have
jump
such an
into Gemini?
intense sort of series of things. So
Right.
February 3rd, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. It'll be at 27 degrees. So it'll make it into Gemini on April 25th.
So I would say in March, Chelsea, March, and right before you have the moon at 29 degrees Taurus. So this is going to be emotional surprises. Probably having to do with work. So it could be some surprises coming up um, right before Taurus goes into Gemini. So, sorry, right before Uranus goes into Gemini. So when you hear me start talking about that, it's going to go direct now. So you might get it revealed somehow, like what's coming. You might get some hint or something. So if you get a hint, pay attention. Okay. Don't dismiss it. Taurus moon would probably dismiss it. Hey, Bright Hawk, Tammy Denning put her birthday up. She's in Australia. I'll let you pull that up for a minute while I continue to look at Chelsea's real quick. So Chelsea, Uranus rules like progress and stuff like that, and your moon is in the first house, so that's like your personal identity and your emotions. Also your like maybe your identity as a mother. I think you have kids or something. So just um you know, so um just be aware of that. Uh yeah, I'm curious too, Lissy. Make sure you come back and tell me what happens in the next like month. Could be a whole month for it to really unfold, okay? Chelsea, the Uranus is going to be right on your moon though this early spring, like April. Okay.
I don't see all of Tammy's details that I need. I need, of course, the time, the date, and the location. I see that you're from Australia, but if you want me to do a chart, I'm not seeing the comment that has it if it's already been posted. I'm not sure I'm seeing all the comments. Okay, great. Thank you.
That's everything but the time. So
Okay.
just put 11:11 a.m. Yeah. And just don't read the houses. Chelsea, you changed jobs last year after 8 years. Yeah, so I kind of remember that, like kind of I do a lot of readings, but so it makes me think like there could be a surprise. Could have could be emotional and have something to do with your identity. Like it could even be something good, like a promotion or something. What's going on right now? Because this is kind of the precursor to it. And then there will be that. And then there will be another transit in Aquarius and Uranus rules Aquarius. And And right now we're having sort of a hint or a precursor to it, and then we'll have Uranus moving in onto Gemini, which will also speak to it, and then the North Node later on, I think it's in June, moves into Aquarius. So it's kind of like unfolding this year in the Aquarius energy, which rules your house of career. So I'm just wondering what's happening right now at work. Are you aware of anything that's going on at work? How is the energy on the world stage? Like, how's like the whole protests and all of that stuff? Everything that's happening with the murders and stuff like that. How is that affecting you?
I'm not seeing all the comments, so I can't do charts, and you went through the dates too fast, so I can't help you.
Okay. So just asking that, Chelsea. That's all. So okay. And here it is. So for some reason, Bright Hawk can't see um the the comments, which makes it a little bit hard for her to pull up a chart. When we uh so please be thanks for being patient. So Tammy, all right, so Tammy, you're a Virgo, so lots going on for you right now. Lots of things you're letting go of. And lots of things that you're is the South Node has been in Virgo for like I think it's like a year and a half. Um oh, okay. There you go, Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea said right now my coworker quit a few weeks ago. So I've been doing the job alone. Like I said, you could get a promotion. It could be absolutely could be a promotion. Absolutely. Yep. And it could change your identity or how you feel about things or how you feel about that job anyway. Okay. So back to Tammy. Tammy, I wanted to say that you're a Virgo. So um hopefully you're still here, Tammy. Are you still here, Tammy? Hopefully you're still here. uh Tammy, are you still here with us? Otherwise I won't bother going through it. Feels silly to go through it if you're not here. To validate or anything, or to even receive the messages. Hi, Ashley. So there's lots going on right now. There's lots going on with astrology, with the Aries. Like I said, Neptune's moving into Aries. There'll be a full moon on Sunday in Leo. So make sure you check out our broadcast. I just posted it earlier, and right now the reels are going up, so you should be able to catch those on my page or on YouTube, wherever you like to look at reels, and you can look through my reels and find the one that is your zodiac sign. So you want to look at your sun, your moon, and your rising. If you happen to not know what your sun, moon, and rising are, what I would say is you can either just get a reading from me, or even cheaper is you could just take a couple of bucks and you could get this beginner's guide, and it will show you how to get yourself a free chart, and then and how to look at it and how to figure out what your sun, moon, and rising is, because it's not just about like, oh, I was born October 10th or something. Like, that's your sun sign. That's where the sun was on the day you were born. But your time will be checked, and the moon is always in a different place. The moon moves every 2 days. So the moon could have been anywhere. So you're going to want to know that. That leads your emotions. Your rising sign is kind of how you go through life. It's kind of how you step forward in life. So it's pretty important too. Your sun sign is sort of your identity. Um, we sometimes it depends on the sun sign. Some signs are stronger than others. I think it depends because it seems to me. um okay, Lucy, we're here every Monday night. um and Hi, Sue Flaherty. Yep, I do have your chart, Tabitha. Yeah, Tabitha. Well, it's a rough year for everyone, actually. So, you're not alone. Go ahead, Brandon.
And while you bring up Tabitha's chart, I have Tammy's chart. But Tammy, we'd love it if you'd confirm that you're still here before we go into it, because
Yeah, so I have Tabitha's
And hi,
chart.
Hannah. Okay, so go ahead and
So, Tabitha, you're going to have a full moon on your Chiron and Mercury this Sunday. So, I don't know what's going on. It's probably going to be about money. Some emotional outbursts about money, huh? Um, and maybe a shadow part of you guys. Maybe could have a lot to do with your relationships and the stability of your relationship and the stability of your life and your day-to-day life. Um, there's a lot going on in Aquarius right now. There was also a lot going on in Capricorn, which rules your seventh and eighth house. So I'm not surprised to hear that you're having an intense time at all, Tabitha. I mean, you have a lot of retrograde planets, and as I've told you, that means those are challenges. And then what happens is eventually you master them, and then you become more resilient than other people through that challenge. So the challenge makes you more resilient in the end, but it can be quite difficult to get through. I definitely have experienced some of that myself. So with that energy, I would just, and then Neptune's going to be opposite your moon. So there may also be some stuff you're not seeing about relationships with your family in the coming months this year. And like, if you're under some illusions maybe about work versus family or something you're not quite seeing or you're not understanding in a good way. It's in a square to the nodes, so it's keeping you from growth. And yeah, you Aquarius, there's a lot of Aquarian energy right now in your eighth house. So, Tabitha, what I would say is that you got the North Node entering there soon. So, take a deep breath. Make sure you do your shadow work. You got a lot of shadow work coming your way in the next 2 years, this year and the 2 years after that. So, the next 2-3 years. You got some shadow work to do. You're gonna have to take a good look at yourself. Talk about topics you don't want to. There could be some sexual things that come up. It could also be like death and just uncomfortable topics in general, or things that we don't really want to talk about. So you'll have a natural attraction to them, but you also won't want to talk about them. So it's kind of like, yeah. I worked with my toxic mother and I got terminated last week. I'm sorry, Tabitha. Yeah. Um, she claimed she had no idea it was coming, but my husband thinks she did. I remember correctly, I think your husband can see beyond, and I would, considering the Neptune is opposite your moon, moon represents mother, it's in the fourth house, and Neptune's opposite it. That means that what you're seeing is probably not true. And if I remember correctly, I think Dylan is better at seeing certain things in your like in your relationship, your husband, and I think that he's better and I told you to like sometimes you need to take his advice, especially on stuff like this. Like you just need to listen to him. Like I don't think he's making it up. I think he's really seeing something, and definitely in this instance, I would say that. Like I would say that even in yeah. hmm So he has an Aries sun, so himself is gonna also have some intensity. So he's not getting off scot free either. Um, so both of you've got a lot going on in the eighth house. So he's probably not seeing his shadow. So both of you have some work to do. I know it's going to be hard for you guys, but just try to listen to it. I think he's right, at least about your mom, Tabitha. I wouldn't say he's right about everything, but he's definitely right about that. So that's showing in your chart. Frankly, I would have told you that without him telling you that. Okay. So, uh, yeah, I think your mom did know. I don't know if that changes anything. I mean, what is she supposed to do? She could have at least given you like a whisper in your ear or something. Um, that's what I would have did, but I also probably wouldn't work with my kid. Um, so hi Hannah, welcome. Challenge builds character as long as you don't let it defeat you. Well said. Well said, Hannah. Well said. For sure. Hi Regina. Welcome everyone. So there's a lot of energy going on in Aquarius and Aries this year. We're having a lot of stuff happening for all of us. So, don't everybody is having an intense year. If you find yourself in a situation where you're just not really sure what to do, you can always come get a reading with me or Bright Hawk and we can try to help. Bright Hawk's really good at looking at your birth chart, helping you get on track with things. And I can look at couples and synastry and transits, and I do really well too if you're trying to work through trauma or grief or anything like that. So if you follow our reels, make sure you connect with our video. We just released it a little bit earlier today. You can find it on YouTube. Wherever you're watching this, you can probably also just look back in the feed and you'll see a post. I also posted on Substack, so you might see a link to the Substack. So I think that's a great place to read things. Just check it out. I kind of like Substack. So I hope that you'll take time to check it out. I hope that you'll take time to take a look at it and see what you think about Substack, and see what you think about this week about Aries, Neptune moving into Aries. We have a lot of Aquarius energy also this year. And you just don't know there's a whole bunch of planets and a lot of different energy, and we all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart. We all have Aries somewhere in our chart. We all have these all zodiacs in our chart. And just because you're a Virgo or a Libra or a Sagittarius or whatever doesn't mean that you don't have the other energies in your chart. And I think that's the interesting thing about astrology is that we all have a unique expression of the sky, and we are all perfectly imperfect expressions of the universe. And I hope that you don't take astrology as a way of seeing yourself in a bad way or in an overly critical way, but instead would see yourself to acceptance, to self love, and maybe even some positive change where you can figure out how to shift your energies and shift what you feel, and just keep hanging in there, my friends. It's going to be an intense year for sure. I'm here. Bright Hawk and I are going to do everything we can to try to keep you updated every week. We do the best we can. It is a free broadcast. This is a free question and answer. You can come in anytime and ask, "Oh my gosh, Hollis, what's going on?" And I'll do my best to try to help you through it. And you can always get a reading, which gives us even more time and one-on-one space to make sure that you're well taken care of. And my readings aren't expensive compared to other astrologers, really. I'm also teaching at Nadia Shaw's, teaching about gender roles and gender expression in Nadia Shaw's school called Synchronicity University. So you can find that at her site, and you can find that at her website. And you can see that I'm part of the speaker profile, and you can get that class through her website. So also, I hope that all of you have a beautiful weekend. Like I said, watch out for that full moon on Sunday. Make sure you check out the reel for your sun and rising sign so you can know exactly how this full moon is going to turn out for you. I would also check out your moon sign, especially when it's a full moon. I would check out your sun, moon, and rising. If you don't know what they are, go ahead and get a beginner's guide or get a reading with me, and I'll be happy to tell you what they are. You can also get a beginner's guide at my website in the shop, in the digital shop. If you go in the digital shop, there's a little beginner's guide. It shows you how to get your chart. And if you keep your chart every week and listen to our broadcast, it will be easier for you to learn astrology. So if you're trying to learn astrology, we're here. We're teaching it all the time. Bright Hawk and I have a 101 class that you can also get in that shop. Do you want to say anything else, Bright Hawk, about our class?
Uh, no, just just have a great week. We hope that you listen to the broadcast and that it helps you know how to surf the week, and blessings. These are intense times, my friends. Thanks for listening to Rainbow Soul Astrology, where we try to be a bridge between you and the stars. Take care.